back to me, enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough, we won't let them hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. You won't bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us or bring us down. Until then, well, there's still life in me now. Give it back to me. Enough is enough. They just wanna.
Hey guys, welcome back to Queen of the Indies Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the Queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And today we have the Action Wrestling Champion, Tim Bosby. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited for this interview. If you guys have watched my indie talks, the ending of 2024, I had said that Tim was the one to watch out for in 2025, if you weren't familiar. So we finally have this interview to happen. So I'm really excited about that. So guys, make sure you hit the like button, the share button. If you guys got questions for Tim, please feel free, drop it into the chat. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. So, all right. So let's learn a little bit about you. Give us a little bit about like your background, how you got into wrestling, who are some of like your favorites growing up.
Um, well, before we begin, I'm feeling a little empty. I think something's kind of wrong. Um, Hold on. Give me one little. Oh,
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 gosh.
we're blessed with
Oh,
the
here we
championship
go.
belt. Here we
Here we
go.
oh,
We're blessed. Look,
there we
spinner belt.
go. I saw Darian Bankston on this show comment about this very beautiful
Yes.
championship, and I just wanted to say this is the most beautiful championship. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. It spins, it spins. All right, now I'm ready. So about me, my name's Tim Bosby. I am 21 years old. How did I get into wrestling? Well, my father was a very big professional wrestling fan when he was growing up. So when I was brought into this world, he introduced it to me very quickly. Uh, some of my favorites growing up, people hate when I say this, but my favorite when I was a kid was The Miz. The Miz, I don't know why, but he was my guy. I always enjoyed the quote unquote bad guys in wrestling. So Miz was my dude. I remember I was 7 years old and my dad took me to WrestleMania 27. And I think I was probably the only person to enjoy that show because my boy The Miz retained the title. Growing up through there, I mean, I've watched wrestling since birth. Um, guys like Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, and then once I kind of got into my teenage years, I then discovered Ring of Honor, New Japan, and then wrestling really took off for me when I found out about guys like Tanahashi and Okada, and Omega and all those guys. So that's a little bit about me. Now, what you may not know is that to prepare myself for pro wrestling, I started amateur wrestling in high school. I joined the team my freshman year simply just to try and learn hold, so to speak, and to get myself ready. Well, it turns out I was actually kind of good at this amateur wrestling thing. I won a state championship. I was ranked number one in the state of Tennessee in the 220 weight class. And I used those 3 years of experience as soon as I graduated to then start my pro wrestling journey. And I started training June 1st, 2022. And here we are, almost 3 years later.
It's
I'm the
crazy.
champ. So
So quick, in a small amount of time, and like to see where you've come and evolved into, it's amazing and everything like that. So, but I find it very interesting. Like the Miz is like one of your favorites. Like I love it. Like I love heels personally. Of course, I mean I just love wrestling, but like I kind of shy towards a whole bunch of heels. I think they're a little more entertaining, to be honest with you.
I do too.
So, but even like the amateur aspect, like I feel like I'm seeing more and more, in this time frame of, like in high school coming up. I mean, we just had the Shooter Boys on. We talked a little
Mm,
bit about that was like a little bit of like their background, like a little bit like Austin Luke and like Reed Walker, like back then and everything. Like you can see that style coming into wrestling, and I think we're seeing a little bit more and more nowadays. So, so let's go with this. I'm familiar with you. You know this. I've been watching, for you for a while and everything like that. But for a fan that's listening to this podcast, never seen you wrestle before, what is the go-to match that you would recommend for them to check out to become an instant fan of yours?
the go-to match. Oh, it might be either off the top of my head, immediately pops up is either the last match between me and Jake Parnell, Warhorse, where I did win the Action Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, I really enjoyed this match mostly because I won. The match that just happened between me and Cruel
Mm-hmm.
at the 7-year anniversary show for Action back in April. I feel like those are two matches. Probably for Memphis wrestling as well. I think would probably have to be a triple threat between me, ID prospect Aaron Roberts, and current AEW star Josh Alexander. We had a triple threat there. So I'd probably say those three matches: the triple threat, the singles with Jake, and in the singles I just have it Cruel. I think those are three matches to
Yeah,
kind of check
I love
out.
the one with Kroll. It was crazy. Like that, I wish I could have came down. Like, I have to come down to an action show definitely. So eventually we're gonna make that happen. But just definitely a show that you should check out. Let me give some love in this chat. So we see, like I see Zach in the chat says hello everyone. Zilla says hi to the world champion and put like a whole bunch of emojis. There's little fires and goats and all that cool stuff. So thank you for coming on in here, hanging out with us. So actually, you know what? You brought up Memphis, championship wrestling and everything like that. I want you to talk a little bit about that because I feel like I'm not as familiar, and this is a nice platform that we can kind of like put it out there, for fans that maybe aren't as familiar. Obviously a lot of people like to kind of just like go to their home promotion wherever they live, but with nowadays we have apps and YouTube and Twitch and wrestling's all over the place. So talk to us a little bit about this. I know like you worked Allen Angels down there and everything. So give us a little bit more detailed for the fan that's not as familiar.
So, Memphis Wrestling is where I trained. That is where I started. I was trained by Dustin Starr, Alan Steele, and Derek King. It's on YouTube, episodic television. It is on a few TV stations, and a lot of people come through there. It's a once a month taping. We'll do three tapings in a day, and they'll have WWE stars, AEW stars, TNA guys coming all the time. And it's where I got my start. Like I said, it's where I was trained. I've had some high profile matches, like I just mentioned with the triple threat with Josh Alexander. As you said, I did wrestle Allen Angels there. Um, I took a spear from Moose one time. That wasn't too fun. Um, but no, it's a really great little television program. There's some very amazing talent, as I mentioned earlier. WID prospect Aaron Roberts is from out of there. We got Marco Harris. We got Zay Washington. It's got a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of old school Memphis punch and kick. There's a little bit of new school, little maybe doing things we shouldn't be doing, a little too dangerous, reckless stuff. I feel like it's a very good mix of everything. And yeah, it's Memphis Wrestling on YouTube, on it's on Fight TV as well. And yeah, I've done a little bit there. I'm a three-time internet champion, and currently I have the Cobra Cup, which is pretty much a Money in the Bank type of stipulation where I can cash in for a championship at any time. So I might be adding another belt onto
Ooh.
this shoulder here quite soon, maybe.
Ah,
So,
will that be a spitter belt too?
If I had it my way, every championship I would ever win in wrestling would be a spinner title. So if I can make it happen, I absolutely would.
Could you talk to us a little bit about that with the spinner belts? Like, like why with you, like that, what is it about the spinner belt that you love so much? And what was it like which belt was it that you're like, oh my God, like, I'm in love.
So, like I said, I'm 21 years old. I was born in 2004. So I was born right into the John Cena era. And John Cena was my guy for a little bit before The Miz took over. And I just thought the spinner title is just, I mean, it spins. Like you just play with it all day as a little kid. My parents, they didn't have to buy me toys of like, baby toys. They just bought me a spinner belt and I would just sit and spin it for hours. So I think there, and I think my favorite belt in wrestling is the Edge version, the rated R spinner title, which I do have a replica of. I just think that, I think anything that spins is awesome. And yeah, like I said, if I had it my way, every single championship I would ever win would be a spinner. So when I got the approval to go ahead and make this happen, I mean, I was happy. So,
Yeah, Darian Kingston was just on a couple weeks ago, and he was saying he started it first and everything.
um,
So, thoughts on that?
now the greatest of all time, John Cena, is the one that started this, and I'm continuing his legacy. He's going to be gone at the end of this year, but it's okay because if you're a fan of John Cena, you can now look at me, and I will carry the torch of hustle, loyalty, and respect because that's what I represent. So.
Love that. Good cop, bad cops in the chat. He goes, tea time. How's it going, Tiffany and Tim? Listening while driving home. Well, please be safe while you're driving, but thank you for tuning on in. Zach says, look at that shimmer and spin. Don't care what anybody else says. Rated R spinner belt rules.
Yes, yes, it does. It does.
Like, Zach, thank you. Okay, so I feel like a good place, that we can start also too is the Future Showcase. And, last year you made it to like the finals. Future Showcase is coming up, as I like to call it. SCI season is coming soon, which we'll get a little bit into the SCI in a little bit. But they just made an announcement for the first entry for the Future Showcase. So talk to us a little bit about that. It's nice that it puts like a platform for maybe people aren't as familiar, and this is how you become familiar with talent. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Futures Tournament means a lot to me because it's really what started kind of the momentum to kind of get towards this. But before I even get into the Futures thing, I have to thank someone who I'll forever be indebted to. And I tell him every time I see him, which I've only seen him like twice since. But TJ Crawford, I had a match with TJ Crawford in February last year that Scott was there for. And after the match, got in the ring and was like, "Hey, Tim, just in front of the people, I want you to be the first entrant." So before even talking about the futures, I have to big shout out to TJ Crawford because that match is what got me into the tournament. And now for the tournament itself, I mean, it helped really kind of put a spotlight on me, and that's kind of what it does. That's why it is what it is. It helped out a lot of talent, and yeah, my first round match was me, The Wall, and Fluffman, and a little big boy triple threat, and I was able to come out victorious and head to the finals. And I wrestled Jamison Shook and Anakin Murphy. you know, I didn't win. I wasn't pinned either, though. So that's something I really, when we say I lost, did I really lose? Because I didn't eat the pin. But no, the Futures tournament means a lot because that tournament let Scott and Matt see what I could do, which then I think was able to kind of lay the foundation for trusting me later on in the later of the year at the Sale Creek show, and then of course getting this from Mr. Jake Parnell at the end of the year.
Definitely. So I think that's like where I kind of first saw you was with you and TJ. TJ's been getting all this love on this podcast lately. I mean, TJ's been on this podcast a couple of times. Bronson was just on last week. We gave TJ the love over there for him. We love that. We love that. So TJ should be signed. I'm sorry. And I'm waiting for the day that TJ goes back to action wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
so maybe we can have a run back of you guys. Maybe put the title up.
So I like TJ, but I don't want to have to beat on TJ again. because I didn't just wrestle him, I beat him. Now I like TJ, he's a good guy, he's a great guy, but I don't want to have to do any harm to him.
Oh,
So maybe not against me, but maybe against somebody else, you know.
okay. So, we'll see that in the, we'll see what happens in the future. You never know. So, yeah. So, like I said, also SCI season is upon us. Like, I like that. So, you know, you're in it this year, which is cool
Mhm.
also. So, give us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so being in it is really cool this year because last year I was in the Futures tournament, so I got to watch both nights. I just sat in the very back row, and I was like, man, I really want to be in this. I was like, it then became a bucket list thing
Hmm.
to be in it. I didn't know it was going to happen the next year. So that's really cool. But no, I'm very excited to take part in the SCI. I think it's a very good tournament with very good wrestlers and very good wrestling. And I'm very excited to take part and I'm excited to win it. They just announced the last guy, Channing Thomas,
Hmm.
entrant number 16. So now the whole lineup is out. And I think it's a really good lineup. A few names that have kind of been in it every year are
Yeah.
not in it this year.
Hmm.
You know, there's no Manders, there's no Priest.
Hmm.
So there it's a little bit of new faces, which I think is kind of a good thing, and kind of getting us into the next generation, so to speak. There's some really young guns in there like Casey and Jamison Shook and Cody Manhorn, and which, like I said, all these are great people, but people I'm gonna beat. So it is what it is.
It's interesting because we had Adam Priest, who was champion at one point, and he wound up in the tournament, which is just crazy. So you're going in as champion too. So, like, do you feel that like you have the up on everybody because you're the action champion?
I 100% do. Well, I think I have the up on everybody I step in a ring with because, a famous man once said this, and I'm still in the quote, my talent outweighs everybody's tenure. So I don't care how long you've been doing this, you could have been doing this for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. My talent is so superior that I don't care how much time you put in. So I'm looking at everybody in the tournament. Like I said, there's Channing Thomas, there's Bojack,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Diego Hill. I mean, all these guys, good guys. People are good. I'm great. So, and oh, you know who else is in there too? I forgot to mention Cruel. And you saw what I did to him
Mm-hmm.
at, the anniversary show. I mean, I picked his big ass up and threw him off the top rope.
You
So,
did. You
you know.
did. All this is like on IWTV as well. So if you have not watched that back, go back and watch it. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. Like I already see like stuff going on social media. Like BoJack wants Channing Thomas. Like it's crazy. We don't know yet because they haven't released any of the matches yet. So in due time, right? There's nothing been. Has any of the brackets been out? No,
No,
not yet.
none
Just
of
the
the
people.
match.
Yeah, it was just the 16.
Mhm.
So soon. So make sure you're following the SCI on social media platforms so you can check that out as well. So, I mean, we keep talking about action wrestling, okay? And like you said, you're very familiar, with Adam Priest. So I'm going to post this up here. So we have the match graphic that's going on this Friday. You have beat Adam Priest in the past. So is this light work for you? Because he is kind of like one of the best going on in the indies. You got Daniel Bryanson giving him the rub and everything like that. He is two-time action wrestling champion. Is he going to be a third time? Like,
So here's the thing, right? This match is gonna be very special for me for a lot of reasons. You mentioned I beat Adam Priest in the past. I have. That match was my third match ever in wrestling. I still was wearing my high school gear. That was in like November of 2022. Me and Adam Priest have not touched since. I have grown as a wrestler since then, and obviously he has grown as a wrestler since then. As you mentioned, Bryan Danielson called him the best wrestler in the country. I'm not going to argue with that. I do think Adam Priest is the best wrestler in the country. Normally I say like things like people suck or I'm better than them. Adam Priest is on a level where I'll say he actually is great, but I'm great to her. And I'm gonna have to prove that on this Friday at Action Wrestling. and I'm going to deny Adam Priest the satisfaction of becoming a three-time champion. And I'm going to prove that any style Adam Priest does not have a style for Tim Bosby. And he could have, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler to ever live, Bryan Danielson's approval. But what matters is when that bell rings on Friday, when it's just me and him in the ring, there is no Bryan Danielson to hoist him up in front of the world. It's going to be me hoisting him up and throwing him around. So, yeah.
There you have it, pretty much. So, I mean, we got to talk a little bit about Dylan Hales, you know,
Yes.
a little bit here. This was a massive upset a few months ago. I remember, like, I was at home and I remember, like, people were tweeting at me and they're like, you're going to be upset. We're all upset of what's happening here and everything like that. Then we seen, like, the post that, Dylan has put over so many people. I've met Dylan in the past when he's come up to Wrestleville a couple of years ago. So we have met. So you have him in your corner. He was always like, an Adam Priest guy. Me and Darian Bengston talked about stuff like this on the podcast. Make sure you guys watch that one as well. So give us a little bit of like the background working with him. It seems to be like upsetting everybody, in the indies right now. Give us it.
So that's another reason why the Priest match is so special because me and Dylan met at a show that Adam Priest was running in February of 2023 in Alabama. Priest just put me on this show. I had no right being on it. I was still probably 4 months in, didn't know what I was doing. And Dylan was there and kind of liked me and invited me to come to TWE Crash Course, which is kind of their student show that they do on Mondays. And I went there, and as usual, I was pretty awesome. So Dylan was like, "Hey, start coming to our Saturday shows." So I started pretty much making the drive to Chattanooga once or twice a month for the TW Saturday shows. And our relationship was kind of just kept getting more and more and more bigger. And it all led to last year in December. And it's a relationship that's been going on behind the scenes, but it finally got to play out in front of the people, in front of that red light, where he aligned himself with me, became the AD. And now, I mean, goodness gracious, we've gone to Indiana, we've gone to Alabama, we've gone to Georgia, we've gone to Tennessee. Might be going some other places here soon. I don't know, but it's just about taking over, and it's about the star maker and the star. And I'm very appreciative for Dylan. And like I said, this Friday is gonna be very special when I get to beat Adam Priest, and me and Dylan are gonna stand over his dead body in that ring.
Oof. Here, folks. So again, you know, flashing it up on the screen for you guys. Check it out. It'll be live on IWTV this Friday. If there's still tickets available, if you're down there, I wish I was coming. So I wish I could teleport down pretty much to see this. But Eric shared a tweet. He says, "Tell him I said Dylan sucks."
Well, a lot of people can have their opinions on the AD, but he's a great guy. We were just in New South going against Big Dave, who, by the way, cheated. Big Dave, for those who may not know, has been a thorn in my side for these last few months. It's ridiculous. This guy's there's a lot of things I can say about Big Dave. A month or two ago, he gave me a cut on my eye. He jumped me. It was like six Marines as well. He had a bull rope. It was a whole thing. This guy's a cheater. But those fans in New South and Alabama, they didn't let the great AD speak, and it just goes to show the disrespect to him and me. But it's why we have to keep fighting, why we have to keep preaching what we're preaching, which is hard truths. Because for some reason, the world is not on to the hard truth yet that I am the best in the country. And once again, I'm going to keep plugging it. This Friday, me and Adam Priest, Bryan Danielson labeled as the best wrestler in the country. Until that match happens on Friday, we'll see. We'll have a different answer.
Yeah, we're almost there, guys. Again, like I said, I can't believe it's this Friday. Check it out. So, but yeah, that we had left off at one of the action shows that we had. Like New South came in, attacked a whole bunch of guys at Action Wrestling. So like, what is going to transpire going forward? Like, are we going to have Action versus, New South?
That's a really good question. And it looks like we're heading down that path because it's not just me now. Now, at first it was just me and Dave. Now there's things with Jameson Shook and Jay Newman involved and Cabana Mandan and Dom Sanders, Big Dave, clothesline, gave a big old lariat to Matt Griffin at the last show. So I don't know. I'll be honest, me and the AD, we don't really have an alliance to nobody. Yes, I'm the action champion. I'm just here to prove I'm the best, you know. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But it does look like we're heading down that path as some type of super program or something. So
So I'll make sure you guys are following all of this. It's crazy. Let's see. Good Cop Bad Cop said, had to wait until I got home to ask, but Tiff doesn't sound wrong when adults say their birth year and it starts with a 2. I about near crashed trying to realizing Tim said 2004. What? What are you talking about? Wait, what? I'm so confused.
I was trying to understand the question. I don't
I
know.
know, I'm so confused. Why is this how when adults say their birth year and it start? Oh, I guess he's saying because me and him, we start in the year 19 and you're 22,
Oh,
2004 that you were born.
it, anybody born in the 1900s is prehistoric,
Hey,
You
hey,
guys
hey.
are not, you guys are in unk status, as we like to say. So, yeah.
Wow. Rude. This podcast is over. No. Okay, got it. Gotcha. All right, so let's talk TWE. Because again, this is like another special place. And again, that's another one. Like, I think next year is the year because I definitely want to come down to SCI, and I think I'm going to plan with my friend Zach, that's in the chat, to come down to SCI. I've heard, and like I've watched and stuff like that, but I've heard nothing but nice things about Chattanooga, the TWE building, and everything like that. Jaden Newman's all over the place up here and stuff. Like, we've seen him like H2O, like, now it just came up at Beyond recently. Well, Wrestling Beyond, whatever, however you want to call it, new IWTV champion, tag team champions, and everything like that. So talk to us how special that is, because like I said, it is, I hear nothing but amazing things about that building.
Yeah, the world famous TWE Arena. It's a very special place. It's a very special place for me because, yeah, Memphis is where I got started. It's where I got trained. But I kind of look at TWE as like where I really got to really develop as a wrestler, and where I still get to continue to develop and get put in some really sink or swim situations. But no, the building has seen a lot of great wrestling. Those fans that come have seen a lot of great wrestlers come through. Um, Chattanooga as an area as a whole is very nice. Lookout Mountain's beautiful. The whole environment, everybody from top to bottom. There's some people that, I don't like because they think they're better than me. But besides that, overall, it is a very nice place. TWE holds a very special place in my heart, and I'm very thankful for TW as a whole. Those three letters on that board and there and that beam that I've had bad luck with. There's a beam in there. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Ring. These last few shows, I've had some really bad luck where I kind of keep getting thrown into it, or I tried to give a chop to Brett Ison. I thought I had him. He missed. I hit my hand on the pole. I fractured my right wrist with that, so that wasn't fun. So I've had some bad luck with that pole. But besides that, TW as a whole is very great, and I'm very appreciative and thankful for everything they've done for me.
Definitely. Good cop, bad cop in the chat goes, Tim is so damn young. That's what I'm saying. You could be one of my sons. That's just, how it is. Like, pretty much. We're just adding to my list of sons in wrestling, But I think, you know what? I definitely want to do an honorable mention for matches that happened in TWE is actually you and O'Shea Edwards. I feel like is definitely an honorable mention out here. You want to give us a little bit about that match?
Yeah, that match, what a day that was. Behind the red light, I guess, maybe so to speak here. I didn't get to that building probably like 20-ish minutes before that match happened. I ran into some really bad car problems that day, delayed like crazy. So as soon as I got to the building, I had to put the shoes and the singlet on. It was legit like 20 minutes right before we were about to go out.
Mhm.
So that was crazy. And then what followed up was even more crazy because O'Shea beat the crap out of me. But as always, I did end up victorious. But no, O'Shea was a very fierce competitor. He threw me around, which is not something I'm too used to experiencing. I can count on one hand how many people like actually pick me up off the ground and do things, and he's one of the few. He was tossing me around. He had some really hard gut shots too, like he was boxing. It was kind of unfair because if correct me if I'm wrong here, isn't a punch illegal? Like, am I wrong
I,
or because I could have sworn, closed fists are illegal, and he caught me with like three or four. But I guess we can come back to that some other day. But yeah,
listen, I'm from New
O'Shea.
York. It's just like anything
Oh
goes.
yeah. How about them Knicks, huh?
I don't even follow, but
Ah,
I feel for my friends. Listen, it's all about wrestling. Like I don't care about anything else. Like,
okay.
this is my love. So, but I feel for my New York fans out there. The wrestlers who are big. Shout out to Matt Vertigo. I know he's sad. I feel like we got to give him some tissues. Maybe I don't know. Dead. Hi Zilla. Thank you for joining the chat. Good Cop Bad Cop says Big Bad Kaiju rocks. So definitely check out that match if you did not watch that as well. So let's do. I have some fan tweets. This one from Alex. It says, "What's the most challenging physical or mental obstacle you had to overcome in wrestling?"
You know, I, on a very serious note, I deal with a lot of mental battles. A lot of mental issues occur, and it's hard for me. It's kind of hard for me to talk about sometimes because I go through a lot of, mental blocks. And I mean, I never really opened up about it, but I mean, I'll come up here, mentally. It's hard for me to kind of look in the mirror and just accept how great I am. And it's very difficult. I mean, I'm really great. And it's hard. It really is. I know you probably can't relate to that, and maybe others can't, but it's hard for me just to be like, man, I'm about to be 3 years in. I've accomplished so much. I'm really great. And I have all these old people trying to hold me down. And you know. Yeah, that's what's hard for me. But maybe something else, maybe the physical pressure on things, on a very serious note, maybe the physical pressure on can I live up to people's expectations? Because like I said, TWE has put me in a lot of sink or swim situations. And there are some times where I go, I wonder, am I really ready for this? Well, there's only one way to find out. You gotta go out there in the ring. And I think so far I've been passing every test. And yeah, I would just say mental battles of on a joking side and on a serious side of am I ready for this? Can I complete this task? They're putting me in a very high situation, high position, and yeah, I would say just staying clear-headed and mental battles.
I think it
So
says a lot about you that you are being put in these, positions and the people that you're working, and you're only like 3 years into wrestling. And, you're working big names where, there are a lot of wrestlers out there that aren't getting those type of opportunities. So I think it says like a lot. And like I said, I was one that I had said on this podcast that you were the one to look out for. So I'm really looking forward to see like where you're going from here. Only going forward. I mean, he is the action champion.
that's
So
right. One more
they're
time for the good time.
good cop, bad cop in the chat says open fist is that hasn't been a thing since before Tim was born. Has it?
Well,
We got jokes.
I think some places still enforces the rules, I think. I could have sworn they're illegal. That's what I asked Dylan, when he popped me 3 times. I was like, I could have sworn, like I said, I'll check the rule books or something. Um,
Somebody check the books. We need to find that out. Good cop, bad cop says Tim versus Calvin Dumont in a battle of the egos would be the main event pay-per-view. It's funny that you said that in the chat because in my brain, as he was talking, I'm like, damn, I was like, him and Calvin, it'd be kind of an interesting match. Calvin came on here with, was it last week, with a massive ego.
well, you see, I have a pushback on that. Is it ego or is it just confidence? I feel like a lot of people can't separate the two because a lot of people have never been a winner. So they don't really know. They're like, oh, that guy. that's what they say about LeBron. Oh, he's got such an ego. No, LeBron, four-time NBA champion, MVP. He's got the most points ever, 50,000. It's called confidence. So I kind of push back on the ego thing, but
Okay. Okay. Um, so he had left a fan tweet for us when I had posted this podcast and everything. So he said, with Tim Bosby being an anagram of omit by BS, what rumor have you heard about yourself that can just ignore yourself that we can just ignore it as it's not true? Or make up a rumor about another wrestler that they can omit by BS as it's untrue.
so either kill a rumor that I've heard about myself or
Yes.
start a rumor about somebody else.
I
Okay.
can't with you. Good cop, bad cop.
Uh, huh. Well, I don't know any rumors about me. Uh, if I had to start a rumor about somebody, uh, I don't really know. If I had to start a rumor, I don't know. Oh my gosh.
He put you on your toes for that
Yeah.
question.
I don't really got that. I don't know. Start a rumor about somebody. That's there's like 10 different people I'm thinking about maybe with something. Normally I'm quick on my feet, but this is kind of stumping me here. I don't know. I don't know. Something about Jameson Shook. I don't know. He smells. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, uh, yeah, we'll just leave it with that, and he can kill the rumor next time he's on here. James, you heard it here first. Tim selects. Jameson Shook doesn't use Shook.
There, there you go. There you go. I guess we'll have to have him come on the pod and omit this rumor. Pretty much. That was good. That was good. So that was really funny. So that was definitely worthy. All right. I guess in good cop, bad cop's honor, because we haven't talked about food yet on this podcast when we're like 40 minutes in. And it always seems to come up. So I guess because I know you guys are going to yell at me if I don't ask the cereal question, since that's been a staple on this podcast. So do you put your cereal in the bowl first and then your milk? Or do you put your milk in first and then your cereal?
Oh, I'm probably gonna upset some people with this. So I am a cereal first
Mm-hmm.
and then liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And now you may notice
Mm-hmm.
I said liquid. I didn't say milk. I use water with my cereal.
Oh boy. I think that's
Yeah.
a new one on this pot. Like we've had some pretty crazy stuff with this question. And I know you're gonna listen, to each your own. I'm not gonna attack you like how I've been attacked on this podcast with this question. But good cop, bad cop's in the chat, so he might attack you. And if Conrad's listening to this,
That's right. That is a old little cutting weight tactic for wrestlers. That's what I was taught. And you don't really want to drink milk. It's heavy on you.
Mhm.
So I love cereal. So I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? We'll just use water. So that's what I did. So water and Fruit Loops. That is my go-to. And that throws a lot of people off. So yeah,
well, at least
water.
you gave an explanation of why you
Yeah.
do it. So, I mean, I guess you could get a pass from the fans. At least
Now,
you
I'm not
gave
cutting
it.
weight no more, so I don't know why I still do it. But I don't know. I did it for 3 years, so like it just kind of came part of the system. Part of
Okay.
the system. So
Okay. There you have it. Good cop, bad cop in the chat says you don't get softball questions on this podcast. You don't.
hmm.
You get the cereal and milk question first, pretty much on this podcast, pretty much going on here. So, uh, he said, "Oh my God." Okay, see, I told you you were gonna say.
I know it's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Wait, excuse me. He said H2. Oh my God, that's what he said. Excuse me. So, all right. All right. So let's go with this because I feel like you're down south. A lot. We've mentioned a couple of these like promotions and everything. Like you said, hopefully, you got some more stuff coming up and everything, but you need to come up here and bless, like New York, New Jersey, New England, and everything like that. But what are some promotions, like what are some of your goals, like what are some of the wrestlers that you want to work outside your area? We're
Oh gosh.
manifesting now.
Well, I think probably some of probably the big two up there is definitely Beyond and Limitless. Um, Names I would like to get in the ring with. We talked about him earlier. He was the last intro announced, Channing Thomas. I would love to get in the ring with him. I got to watch him for the first time at SCI last year. I didn't know like the whole like stick with Barcabella, and I just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So definitely Channing. Uh, Somebody who I really want to get in the ring with. You may know him, the current IWTV champion, Marcus Mathers. I think he's very good, and I would really like that championship, you know, up here on this
Well,
shoulder.
he said he needed
Um,
another belt, so
yeah, and let's not forget that I did just beat the former IWTV champion, Cruel. So, and in that PWI rankings, if you saw that, they had me fifth. So I feel like I should be in line for some type of opportunity at the championship, but Marcus Mathers, Channing Thomas, I think Desmond Cole's pretty cool. I think he's pretty good. Um, let's see, who else is up there? Um,
I love that he said Big Boofa. I love that. I love that.
yeah.
Let's go.
I think he's over in Japan still right now, but Fancy Ryan Clancy,
Yeah.
he's doing stuff. I would love to be like on Wrestling Open. I know they have the Monday show now as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'd probably say Beyond and Limitless, and I have a goal to wrestle. At least I would like to wrestle in every state in the country.
Hmm.
I think that's a cool thing to say that you got to do your dream and your profession in every state. But yeah, I would say definitely Beyond and Limitless. And if I had to put a name at the top of that list, it'd probably be Marcus Mathers that I would like to wrestle.
Let's go. Let's go. Definitely. He's been on this podcast a couple times. Definitely checked out those interviews as well. I just saw him. Saturday. He was wrestling Montekia at House of Glory this Saturday night. So
Oh, that's another place, House of Glory.
hmm
House of Glory is another one.
that'd be nice. It's right by my house. I'm like 12 minutes from there. So I mean, come this way.
I've been seeing stuff about them for years, even when I was in high school. They
Yeah.
just had Mercedes Moné versus Indy Hartwell was
Hmm.
there, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently. So this weekend they did Mike Santana hosted for the Puerto Rican weekend. So they had that show going on there. Mike Santana versus Ishii, and
Hmm.
then Mason cashed in. Charles Mason cashed in. Now Charles Mason is the new House of Glory champion going on over
That's a
there
pretty scary
too.
dude.
So yeah, that was crazy. So if you guys haven't watched that, that's on. I believe it's on Thriller. I want to say. I forget. There's so many promotions. I can't keep up with everything of like where they're completely at. So I have two final questions for you. If anybody else has any more, please feel free, drop it into the chat. So, what are some things you like to do when you're not in the squared circle?
Gosh. Literally nothing. Wrestling is everything. I mean, I would just say wrestling, keeping up with basketball, and just playing video games. I'm very basic. That's about it. If I'm not wrestling, I'm either keeping up with basketball, playing basketball, or I'm playing video games. So
Oh, well, you have to go with that because for the fans, like, are you an Xbox guy? Are you a
no,
PlayStation guy?
big PlayStation guy. PlayStation guy since I was 3 years old when my dad got the PS3 back in '07 or '08, and it's been PlayStation ever since. I got a bunch of new stuff. I can dabble into video game talk
Go
forever.
for it.
Well, I just dabbled into I got the PS5 a few months ago,
Mhm.
and I just bought a bunch of games. I got a terabyte that came in. I just pre-ordered for the new college football game and Madden coming out. I don't know if you saw the state of play. They're going to put all the ex Mortal Kombat games on there, which I'm a ginormous Mortal Kombat nerd.
Yeah.
I just had a Raiden t-shirt. I don't know if you know anything about Mortal
Of
Kombat.
course, I have one on my PlayStation
Oh, okay, that's
too. Let's
great.
go.
I just had a it's over there. I just had a Raiden t-shirt come on in. I'm a big old nerd for Mortal Kombat, so that was very exciting. Uh, so yeah, video games, basketball, and wrestling. That's really about
I'm
it.
so old. I was playing Mortal Kombat in the arcades when they had it only in the machine.
What's an arcade?
Exactly. I don't even know. Like, I think some still exist or whatever like that. But even like with camp and stuff like that, we used to go. They used to be like these little hole in the wall places that it was just like line up against one wall and line against the other wall of just arcade games that you could play. So, but I was always running to the Mortal Kombat game because it was like, yes, blood, let's go. Good times, good times. All right, so let's do a very special question on this podcast. So we're gonna get a little positive here because, as we know, the wrestling world can be negative. So I like to focus
Oh
on the
man.
positive. So, is there anything that you could share with us that maybe a fan's done for you, maybe you done for a fan, maybe a wrestler's done for you, or maybe something that you've done for a wrestler? Anything that we wouldn't know unless you would share with us.
Um, anything in the world of wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Uh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know. I think just kind of supporting people,
Hmm.
you know, um, being there for those that may be going through tough times that maybe people are not seeing, in front of the curtain.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I want to give a shout out, speedy recovery to a wrestler named Colby Carter, who just got his appendix removed. I was talking to him about that the other day. Um, I don't know. As you said, wrestling can be very negative. It kind of,
Yeah, yeah. No, we like to, put it a little bit over with some positivity because there's a lot of good positives that people don't really get to see in wrestling,
yeah.
and I'm very fortunate enough that I probably see a lot more. And this is very staple on this podcast, so that's why like I wanted maybe you share something with us.
There's a lot of names that I could shout out for helping me out. There's a lot of wrestlers that have said my name in rooms that I was not in
Hmm.
that has helped me get to certain positions and helped me meet certain people. I've already listed one earlier, TJ Crawford. I'm very thankful for him. I'm also, even though I'm gonna absolutely kill him on Friday, I am thankful for Adam Priest because that show I referenced earlier, after we wrestled in November of 22, he had that show in February of 23, a few months later. I did not need to be on that show. I mean, I was still wearing high school gear. I didn't know what I was doing. And he put me on that show, and that's the show where I got to meet Dylan, and it got that whole ball rolling. Um, so yeah, I mean, like TJ Crawford, Adam Priest. There's some guys over here in Memphis. I mean, and I'm also thankful for guys that push me as well. A guy that pushed me a lot is Marco Harris, who's based out of here in Memphis. And for Memphis Wrestling, we just had a 3-match series. And yeah, I don't know. If I had to give a shout out, I'd say TJ Crawford and Adam Priest, even though I'm going to beat Adam Priest Friday. So, I'm singing his praises, but I'm also going to beat him on Friday.
There you go, pretty much. Alex in the chat says, I want to see Tim in WWE soon. Look at that.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I have if you keep an eye out, there are certain events you may see me pop up as getting my ass kicked doing things. Earlier this year, which I was very happy because as of this recording, last night a certain Yeet man lost the World Heavyweight Championship to the Ring General Gunther, who Jey Uso dove on me and back in February. So that wasn't nice of him. I was just trying to do my job as a security guard, and he dove on me. Uh, I'm trying to think. There's some other instances that if you go through shows where they're kind of here in the southern area, you might see old security or medical Tim getting beat up. So But hey, that'd be kind of cool to see me in the ring as an actual competitor. But
Right? It's the foot in the door, right? That, the extra work, and it's really neat to see like your local talent that you're familiar with to be part of, and whether like it's like even like AEW, whether you get like dark matches or whatever it is, or just extra work. It's really cool to see. Someone like me can truly appreciate that for you guys. It's like, oh, we're getting there eventually. You might, get signed. Like we don't know. Maybe we'll see. And look, we have the WWE ID program going on now too, so we don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah, WID, my boy Aaron Roberts, the baddest man walking both sides of the Mississippi. He's a part of that program. And I also would like to give a shout out to AEW in Action for Action Dean. That show's tremendous out there in Phoenix. The AED Dylan Hales did great commentary over it. I mean, they had Manders versus Rhino, Priest versus Mad Dog and the Dog Collar. They had that 10-man like lucha match that those guys when they're doing things I didn't even know was possible. So
Definitely.
good things going on all around the world of wrestling.
Definitely. All right, so let's talk about what you got coming up. Obviously, we have been promoting this entire show, Action Wrestling. Again, you can watch this on IWTV this Friday night. You, Adam Priest, it's gonna happen. Are we gonna have a new champ? Are we not? Are you gonna retain? Gotta tune
That,
in.
that's a little bit of a crazy question to ask after everything I've been up here doing. No, Friday,
I gotta give you a little rub there. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
Friday, it's me and Adam Priest. Like I said, the first time I wrestled Adam Priest, it was my third ever match in wrestling. Now here we are, almost 3 years later. This is going to be, because I keep track, this is not going to be my 152nd wrestling match of my career. So the last time you saw me, I was 3 matches in. I done got over 100 plus matches now. I've grown, he's grown. I'm going to deny him the satisfaction of becoming a 3-time champ, and I'm going to prove that any style Adam Priest does not have a style for Tim Bosby. And that Bryan Danielson, I want a voice recording. I want a video of Bryan Danielson saying that Tim Bosby is now the best wrestler in the country since I beat Adam Priest, or when I beat Adam Priest. So, Bryan Danielson, I would like my video right after the match. Right as soon as the pinfall hits or tap out, whatever I do to Priest, pin or submission, I would love a video of Bryan Danielson saying, Tim Bosby, you are the best wrestler in the country. So, yeah.
There you have it. Actually, question, because like you brought up like match numbers and stuff like that, and I'm kind of curious now that like you said it, and like I never really think I've had that conversation with anybody on this podcast. Do you keep like a notebook of like all your matches, or like on your phone or something like that, of every single match you've
I
had?
do. So I have a notebook
Mm-hmm.
that I bought as soon as I started wrestling. It has every match I've ever had. I have every opponent I've been in the ring with, every promotion I worked for, where the match took place at, how much I got paid for that event, who was the ref. Like it's a whole little
Detailed.
it's very nerdy. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole little thing. I like to keep track with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I'm so glad I didn't do it on my phone because I like my phone like died and just out of nowhere just I don't even know what happened to it. Nobody could figure out. It just all of a sudden eviscerated like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that. I would have lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you put things on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can't go wrong with old school. Pretty much there. So, all right, and then Saturday you'll be at TWE. Talk to us a little bit about that.
yes, so I'm going to be in TWE Saturday teaming. I'm gonna be in a 6-man tag. It's gonna go be me, Aaron Wade, the current TWE champion, and Aaron Wade has a nice little new friend, and we're gonna be taking on, if I'm not mistaken, old Jameson Shook, Brett Ice, and Big Dave. Like those are 3 guys that have been just a thorn in my side and Aaron Wade's side as well. And now I gotta be extra cautious now because I just realized I'm wrestling Jameson Shook on Saturday, and I just started a rumor that he smells earlier on the show. So I gotta be careful. He might he might really try and get me. He might come after me in the 6-man tag on Saturday. So
I'm gonna have to book that podcast so he can omit it out and
yeah,
start a new rumor on somebody else, right?
yeah. That's oh man, I can't believe I got stumped with that earlier, and that's not going to be good. He's coming right after me. Jesus. Nice.
I'm dead. I'm
Hmm.
dead. Well, tell everybody where they can follow you if they're not following you already.
Yes, I'm on Twitter, or sorry, X, whatever we're calling it now. Instagram as well. And everything you should be able to find is Tim_Bosby. Um, I post some good stuff. I would like to believe so. Uh, and that's where you can follow me at Pro Wrestling Tees, Tim Bosby. Um, yeah, man, that's all me, Oos.
Perfect, perfect. I have all those links
Yeah.
in the description for you below, so it could be easier for you guys to grab all those links. Is there anything else that you want to share with the fans that we haven't touched base on?
Um, I would just say, you know what? I'm gonna be kind of nice here, I guess. Maybe I would say if you have been supporting me, thank you. If you're just now starting to support me, thank you as well. Things have really picked up here these last 6, 7 months, and it's been very fun. And there's a lot more cooler things on the way. So I would just say, let's keep this train going. Let's keep proving that I'm the best. And like I said, this Friday did I forget to mention this Friday at Action Wrestling? It's Tim Boz versus Adam Priest, and I'm going to beat, as Brian Danielson labeled, the best wrestler in the country. So
There you have it. So make sure you're tuned on in. But
this Friday,
this Friday. So thank you for coming on to the podcast, chatting with everybody. I can't thank the fans enough as well for all of your questions. Thank you, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Too funny. Good Cop, Bad Cop in the chat says, people going to that event, please take a sign that says he smell. I'm dead.
he's not going to like me after this when he sees this.
I
Oh, I'm
can't.
not going to have an answer for him either.
I can't. So,
Hey,
well, anyway, guys, thank you. I should have a podcast scheduled for next week. I'm just waiting to confirm the time on the podcast, so I'm not going to announce it onto this podcast. So make sure you're following me at Queen of the Indies Corner, and yeah, so you guys know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye.
Feeling miserable.